The Toronto Raptors played basketball yesterday, and I haven't had that much fun watching a Raptors game in a while. What do you know? The Raptors actually looked good. Now, it's just preseason hoops, so I'm not trying to overreact in this one, but I simply just wanted to talk about some encouraging things that I saw with this team. It's been a roller coaster the last couple of months, so it's nice to finally get to talk about some positives. Without further ado, let's get into it. Drop a like, guys, it helps it a ton, and please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. As always, your support is greatly appreciated. So the first thing we learned is that the Raptors rolled out a starting lineup of Dennis Schroeder, OG Anunoby, Scottie Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl, which meant Gary Trent Jr. was the team's sixth man. There was some speculation that Barnes would start full-time at point guard with Trent Jr. with him in the starting lineup, and this is something I thought was a possibility at one point. But Schroeder basically solidified his starting role with an excellent FIBA World Cup run. If this is how the Raptors roll things out from here on out, I think he'll work out well. Dennis Schroeder is a traditional point guard. He has great familiarity with Darko Rajakovic going back to their days at OKC, so I think he can flourish in this starting role. He had 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in his preseason debut. With Gary Trent Jr., he was solid in the preseason opener. He had 22 points in 21 minutes from off the bench. He was 7 of 12 from the field and 3 of 6 from deep. I know some people are upset and want to see Trent Jr. as a starter, but I think Trent Jr. can be a lethal weapon from off the bench for this team. I think he can thrive in this role. He's still going to get minutes, but if Gary Trent Jr. really embraces the sixth man role this season, it's not crazy to think he'll have sixth man of the year potential, especially if he plays like this consistently. Next, let's talk about Scottie Barnes. He had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Boy, you can see signs that he's ready to break out. I loved how Barnes was being aggressive early, attacking the basket. He had a sick drive and dunk. He showed his passing ability. We saw Point Scottie operate. He got a rebound, pushed it down the court to set up his teammates. He just has to clean up the flashy passes and not trying too hard to make things happen, but he was solid from the field, which was great to see. He missed 2 3-point attempts, but man, if that 3 ball starts to drop, it's over. The leap looks like it's coming, and you can tell Barnes has a more serious approach, demeanor to his game. He means business. He said he's worked hard on his conditioning this offseason to prepare him for the increased ball handling duties he'll have. He put on 9 pounds of muscle. And I mean, this has to be the season where the Raptors give him the keys and just let him go to work. Don't hold him back in any way. Let him go all out. And it's going to be interesting to see how he and Pascal Siakam coexist, and if they can both coexist at a high level without one hindering the other's production. And this is going to be one of the storylines that I'll be watching. Star players usually don't try in preseason games, so I'm not overreacting to what I saw from Siakam. But what I'll say is this: don't be surprised if this feels like it's Scottie Barnes' team this season. He's going to be heavily involved on offense, and we saw flashes of that. Speaking of the offense, it looked pretty good. And I do want to talk about the offense looking a lot better and not looking stagnant. Darko's 0.5 offense looks like a breath of fresh air. And Darko actually appeared on the broadcast during the Raptors game and described his 0.5 offense. And he said this: 0.5 offense means making quick decisions. Every time a player catches the ball, he needs to be ready to attack, shoot, dribble, or pass the ball. We want to make quick decisions. We want to be able to play with the ball very quickly. We want to be able to execute in the half-court offense and to play an unselfish style of basketball. And you saw that. The ball movement looked so much better. And this stat was pretty insane. Krithika brought this up on X. She said, it's preseason, but the Raptors had 30 assists on 39 made field goals tonight. They only hit 30-plus assists in 9 games all of last season, including the preseason, and they won all 9 of those games. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come. You'll work all the defensive kinks as you go along, but the offense was the most anticipated thing with this team coming in. And I think this style of offense can really work well for a team like the Raptors. So 0.5 offense, trying to eliminate the Raptors being heavily involved in ISO, being stagnant, and we'll see how it continues to look as the season moves along here. Now, the last thing I want to say about the preseason game against the Kings is we finally got to see Grady Dick play, and it came all the way late in the third quarter. The fans, they wanted to see Grady Dick, and he came in, he hit his first couple of shots, then missed some. He rushed some of his shots, and you could just credit that to nerves. I mean, it was officially his first NBA game, and the man was a hot commodity. I loved how he got a WWE-style pop. I mean, every time he touched the ball, the crowd cheered. And I hope Grady Dick gets consistent minutes, as he should. I mean, the starters are set, and I think the 4 main bench guys are set as well. It's going to be Trent Jr., Boucher, McDaniels, who look good, by the way. I have high hopes for him. And Precious Achiuwa, who did miss the preseason opener. Hopefully he comes back soon. And then that 5th spot could be up for grabs. Darko said he likes using 5 bench guys. I penciled in Grady Dick, but you still have Otto Porter Jr., Malachi Flynn, who got some run. He did struggle. Thad Young, Garrett Temple. But overall, the bench looks like it can be solid and much better than last season, especially if Trent Jr. breaks out as the team's 6th man. Don't look now, but the Raptors might be onto something special here. I mean, as long as this is a fun team to watch this season and the cohesion is there and the player development is there, guys like Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes in particular get better, that's all you can ask for following the disaster from last season. The vibes could be back. The players seem to get along with Darko, and Darko looks like he already has a good relationship with these players. He's a player's coach, and you can see there's respect from both sides. So this was some encouraging stuff to see from the Toronto Raptors, and you just hope this translates into this season. And, you know, when looking at this Raptors team, I did have the Raptors penciled in as a play-in team this offseason in that 7th, 8th spot, but I think I'm going to go on record now and say this team will finish 6th. I think this team will end up being better without Fred VanVleet. I think we are going to get a Barnes leap. I think Gary Trent Jr. is going to be better. I think the offense is going to be a lot better with this 0.5 offense being implemented. And I mean, when you look at the East, I think the top 5 is set. It's going to be some combination of Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Heat, Sixers. But that 6th spot looks open, and it looks like it'll be up for grabs. I'm not sold on the Knicks or the Hawks. The Nets probably take a step back, and the same with the Bulls. And then I have the Pacers and Magic making the play-in. So there's definitely an opportunity for the Raptors to get that last playoff spot, because I think there's going to be a lot of middling teams in the East this season. Obviously, the East is top-heavy. We know who the 2 best teams are and who's going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals in all likelihood. But there could be some opportunities for teams to potentially get up the standings, and the Raptors could be one of those teams, especially if they play much better this season. And you just hope what you saw in that first preseason game translate to a larger scale in the regular season. So let's see how the season goes. But yeah, what is your reaction? What are your early impressions of the new look Raptors? And the last thing I want to say, guys, before I get out of here is just a programming note for this season. So my daily Raptors content for this season, particularly post-game shows, will be on the Raptors Nation YouTube channel. I went live there last night. I'll link it down below. Go subscribe. I joined their great team full-time as their lead reporter, so I'm excited about that opportunity. Now, I'll still have Raptors content here, but as you guys know, I also do NBA stuff here as well. So for strictly Raptors content, the Raptors Nation YouTube channel will be the place to check me out. That is it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Again, hit a like. It helps a ton. Subscribe to the channel for more. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all again in the next one.